Hello everyone, welcome back to the Eden podcast. I'm super looking forward to this one. I really enjoyed last week, but this week has a bit of a different flavour, a bit of a different spice, if you will, because I'm sat with two of my greatest friends in the whole world.
Ah, that's nice.
Kind.
In a freezing cold studio in Suffolk. We've all got our shoes off because we get told off for tapping our feet and it coming off at the audio. And there is this incredible waft coming from the sofa opposite me that belongs to someone called Mr. Matt Levett.
It's not that bad.
It actually isn't that bad.
It's not that bad at all.
I'm
Don't
gagging.
listen to him.
I'm
Don't
gagging.
listen to him.
So, Matt, who are you? What do you do? How do we know each other?
Well, we work together, Ben.
Yes, we do.
work together. So my name's Matt. I head up the youth work for the whole of the Forge Church. So across all the 3 sites that we've got. I don't know even what introduction's been said already about who we are. So I'll just keep talking. But I do youth work, basically.
You do youth work. And just to give you an idea of the sort of person that Matt is and why he'll be great for this podcast, to do a sound check, we ask people what they've had for breakfast because it just gives us a good idea of mic levels and stuff. Matt, what did you have for breakfast?
Well, I just opened the fridge and see what's there. So I had 2 pork belly strips because that was in there. I had a couple of tomatoes. I had an egg. I had 1 egg left, so I thought about have that. There was half a tin of like Mexican spicy beans, so that went in there too. I just threw it all in together. There was some horseradish sauce.
Oh, why? Where did that idea come from?
Right.
Well, it was just what's there. So you put it all in together, don't you? And just eat it.
That is absolutely
A particular favourite of mine is macaroni cheese for breakfast. It's a good one. Yeah, like that. Try
I could
that
get
out,
behind
maybe.
that. And obviously you might be able to hear the dulcet female tones of Kat Johnston, who's back with us. She was with us last week.
Yay.
Kat, how are you feeling this week?
I feel great, thank you. I'm excited to
Be with me.
be here with Matt. Yeah.
It was a bit dull,
And
just
here-
us two last week, wasn't it? I mean,
exactly.
it did need that extra voice.
That
in there.
edge. Yeah.
So you are the edge.
I'm the edge.
So last week we did a book. That is not what we're doing this time. And today, producer Alex, the anonymous
Hello,
cast
producer
member,
Alex.
he gives us a topic, and we just chat about it. And
Okay,
I'm really excited
we
about
can do
this
that.
week. The topic we've been given is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done. So where to start?
Well, I kind of these questions. So when you're in youth work, right? When you're in youth work, young people ask this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I think they genuinely want to know, like, this guy at the front who's speaking about God and the Bible and stuff. Like, what does he actually do, like, in his spare time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always like, so what do I tell them? Do I tell them the real stuff? Right?
How honest are you?
I'm sure. I don't know whether you guys know this, but I love surfing, right? And I go down to Cornwall a lot, and I used to have this little shed, chalet. So a load of my
beach hut?
mates,
Are you
beach
posh?
hut.
Do you
Well,
have a
no, it
beach
wasn't a beach hut. It was like a chalet. So I was like, a load of my mates said, "Oh, can we come down?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." So they were like 5 or 6 girls, 5 or 6 guys, right? And so it's only got 1 bedroom. So all the guys doss down in the bedroom, and all the girls doss down in the lounge. And it
You are
was
posh,
beautiful.
aren't you?
No, don't worry. And anyway, I got up in the morning. Thing was, I'm so used to being there on my own, I didn't kind of remember that all my mates were there. Yeah, so I walked out of my bedroom, walked into the lounge, and I was into the kitchen. I was looking out over the sea because this window overlooked the sea. It was brilliant. I was making a cup of coffee, and there's just this voice behind me, my friend Nikki. She goes, "Matt, can I have a cup of tea?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Right, and then another one of my friends, Carrie, she said, "Can I have a cup of tea?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I made their tea, made their coffee, and I picked their tea up and I turned around to give it to them. And it was at that moment that I realised I was naked.
Of course you did.
And so there's these five female friends of mine in the lounge just wetting themselves. That laughter that you laugh but you don't want to say, you don't want to laugh. No. So they're just and I've got these 2 cups of tea in my hands, right? And I'm just standing in front of them, absolutely... I was going to say naked, but you get the idea.
Unbelievable.
So that happened to me. So basically all of my friends have seen me naked.
The thing is, what I get about you, Matt, is that, okay, that's an embarrassing story. I wouldn't be too bad, but I imagine a lot of people would be really embarrassed by that, but I don't actually imagine.
No, it's just a laugh. They all laugh about it now. It's
Exactly.
yeah, right. I dated most of them in my teenage years, so.
Do you know what? I want to delve. Do you know what? I want to delve so many because me and Matt met up for a curry the other week, and just some of his stories about female. But talking about dating, have you got an embarrassing? Kat,
I do.
I feel like we're like the boring ones in this.
No, I feel like you have some embarrassing things that happen to you.
Not that I'm willing to share on the podcast.
Okay, fine. But actually, you handle embarrassment quite well, like Matt does.
Publicly.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you not? Do
No.
you?
Oh, no.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like, I go red at the most
The thought
trivial
of Matt being
thing.
naked. I mean, Matt, I wish you'd brought some flipping clothes for now. I know it's a podcast and everything, but we will be filming these soon. And if you could just put a towel around it or something next time, a flannel.
Yeah, so I feel like I avoid these.
You're right now. You're actually.
Am I? I avoid this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I do have an embarrassing story, which I think actually relates more to my husband, Finn.
Even better. I think
than it does to me.
And if they're not here, that means that you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
This could be totally not true.
No, it
you
is
want it to
definitely
be.
true. So I have loved my husband. It's going to sound like a really pathetic little love story to begin with. But anyway, so I've loved him for a long time. So I've known him most of my life. So anyway, loved him loads and loads since I was really young. But we were always good friends. So our families are really good friends. Our mums are really good friends. I'm really close with his brother Lewis. So we're the same age. So we used to have sleepovers together, all of us, just hang out.
Friend zone stuff.
Friend zone sort of thing.
Not the sort of sleepovers that Matt's been having with his girlfriend.
No way. So
Would you like a cup of tea, Finn?
So anyway, we're there all hanging out one night, and Finn is called into his mum and dad's bedroom.
Oh.
And basically,
Telling off coming.
yeah, so
Smacked bottom.
Lewis and I are just there chatting, and
Lewis is Finn's brother.
Yes, Lewis
your
is Finn's
husband's
brother. Yeah.
Who isn't your husband?
Yeah. So Finn is called in by his parents, and basically we hear this whole conversation, and his parents are like,
Awkward.
you can't sleep in that room, Finn, because Kat's in there, and we think there's something going on with you guys, which there wasn't.
They're genuinely
Apart
wasn't.
How old are you at this
I
point?
think,
Right.
so how old must I have been? Maybe like 11, 12.
Okay.
We started dating when I was 13, so 11, 12. Anyway, so, but obviously, like, I love him loads.
Yeah.
So, they're like, there's something going on with you two. You can't stay in there, Finn. And I'm like, oh goodness. And Finn is just in this room going, no, there's nothing going on with us. She's only my friend. I don't like her at all. So I'm like lying there like,
crushed at this point.
I'm like crushed.
Poor cat.
He gets super angry. He's going to hate
And
me
that's
telling
not
this
Finn
story.
at all. Like,
No.
if you know Finn, he
Yeah.
is the calmest, like...
Yeah, so he's so chilled, such a chilled person, and he gets super angry. I wonder if Lewis remembers this as well. And
Lewis, do you remember this? Tweet me. Tweet Finn. No, don't tell Finn. Nobody tell Finn.
And he got so angry that his family have some like sliding doors where they keep, it's like the airing cupboard where they keep the sheets and the towels. He got so angry, he like stormed out of his parents' room, punched the door. There's still a hole in the door. The door still doesn't close. The door still doesn't close properly. I don't know, how many years on is that? Like 15, 16 years on? Yeah. And, Finn hates it when I tell that story. It's not that embarrassing for me.
Finn.
Yeah. But
your heart is healed, but the door isn't.
yes, exactly.
And it all worked out fine anyway.
Yeah.
But I do feel for little Kat, who's just been rejected.
But also, she was 13, and what, Finn was like 12 or something, 13.
Yeah.
But whatever. But you know what it's like? 13-year-old girls are like, oh yeah, I love him. 11-year-old boys are like, we're still eating mud and
football,
worms.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like, you know,
Exactly.
we haven't figured it out at this point.
Yeah.
I definitely know, kind of looking back over my life, looking back over the stupid things that have happened. And honestly, stupid things happen in my life all the time, all the time, even now. obviously some of them are it's just life, it happens. But some of them where I've made a conscious decision, I know it's because I've wanted short-term gain, kind of, oh yeah, I'll go with that girl, or I'll drink that, or I'll do that, or I'll look really hard by jumping off this cliff, which I've done, and like, you know, and it's the short-term game, and most of the stupid decisions I've made in my life have been because of short-term gain.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, a lot of it is like rooted in insecurity as well.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So like, well, I'll tell you like a story that everyone on this podcast, like, it's not embarrassing, but it's just so like that. Like, at Eden last time, if you've seen the Food Nights video, which I think you both have, it ends with a picture of a dog sitting at the table, and it's really funny. And then I got up off the back of that video and I was like, make sure you sign up for a food night, but do be warned, you won't know if you'll be sitting next to a bitch.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Because, and like, it got a laugh, as you can imagine, but there was also Kat's reaction, which was roll your eyes. Oh my goodness, she didn't just say that.
Yeah.
And then like, someone just spoke to me about it afterwards. Someone that I really respect.
Yeah.
And I was immediately gutted that I'd said it, and upset that, because I mean, there are worse things to say. I don't think it is offensive. But I was just like, all that was like, oh, I need to say something quickly that's going to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Because if people don't laugh, then they won't like me.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah. But
and it's not funny.
No, but you said something I think which is quite, you know, looking, as I said, I've done loads of stupid things, particularly in my teenage years. I did lots of stupid things. I'm really grateful for the fact that my mum kind of always seemed to pull something good out of the. So, for instance, I'm sure you've probably heard the story. I was having a supermarket trolley race with a mate of mine, right?
Yeah, sure.
Down the hill.
No.
That's what you do. Haven't you heard this?
No.
Was that before trolleys were £1? I couldn't afford to do that in my teenage years.
So you're bored, you don't know what to do. You've already stolen the milk off somebody's doorstep in the morning, for a drink. You've done all of that.
Is this Victorian time? Like, what?
The milk on the doorstep.
So
who has milk on their doorstep
I'm in one
anymore?
trolley on one side of the road. He's in another trolley the other side of the road. And we're racing down the hill so you can get to the bottom first. So it's like 3, 2, 1. Somebody pushes us, we go. I managed to get my hands trapped inside the trolley. Ooh. So there's no way of steering the thing. And I'm like, this is not going to end well. But like, I didn't want to lose. My mate Pete Buckley's on the other side. I tried rocking it over, couldn't get it to rock over because I hadn't got the leverage. My hands are trapped inside. I look up, I'm like, at the bottom of the hill, there is a police car, no word of a lie. But the police car is looking along the bottom road, like a T-junction. Yeah. He's doing a speed trap along the bottom. So he has no idea what's coming down the hill. Basically, I smashed into the side of this police car in a trolley, right? I dented it so hard, the door, that the door wouldn't open. So the passenger police officer inside the car had to climb over the seats to get out the other door. He had to walk round and pick me up. Right. Now, obviously, I can tell it now, it's a bit embarrassing. Then I was absolutely cacking myself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he's picked me up, he's got me out of the trolley, and then he's like, I've got to take you home. And so my mum, I was about 15 years old at this point. Yeah. My mum made me.
That is quite old, Matt, to be doing something.
What, to doing a supermarket trolley race? No, well, 15-year-old kid. I didn't mature early. Mature early at all. No. Anyway, and my mum made me take money to the police station every week. Once I'd earned it doing my paper round that I did, she made me take it to the police station until I'd paid off the door.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, and actually, and loads of stuff like that. It was like learning the consequences of the stuff we do. Actually, I did something stupid. I had to pay the consequence for it. Yeah, and she was really good at making me do that stuff. Because otherwise, I reckon I'd have gone through life thinking, well, I can do whatever I like, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true.
And I know we've got off the topic of embarrassment a little bit, but do you get the idea of what I'm saying? It was,
oh, mate, do you know what? That is true embarrassment, is when you, like, if I embarrass someone else. So like, if I embarrass my wife,
right,
But that was another thing about the bitch thing.
Okay.
Which I've now said like 6 times. But, someone told her because they thought it was funny. It might even be me probably thinking I was funny again. And she was like,
why did you say that? Yeah.
And that's why she's my wife, because you need people in your life that pull you up. And she was like, you embarrass me so much when you do stuff like that.
Right.
And I was like, oh my goodness.
Because she's the one person in the world you really don't want to hurt.
That for me, actually, like, I've done not stupid things, but I've done stuff that, like, I remember my mum did a speech at my wedding, and I was really embarrassed then. She did far more incriminating things than my best man did. So, like, well, when I was... No, back to you.
No, go on, tell us. You've got to tell us now.
You've got to tell us one of the stories, surely.
You can tell us.
He knows them. He's just...
No, I 100% know them.
He's just working out whether he should tell us or not.
Yeah. Well, which... no, they're more weird.
Okay.
You won't think, oh, you're so silly. You'll think, are you okay? So, yeah, I'll tell you just two. So me and my friends all went to Scouts. Is it called?
Yeah.
You know, where you tie a little thing around your neck, the little tie thing, and wear a jumper, and make fires. But being lads, we used to go around the village, and there was one right outside the Scout hut, which is why I referenced Scouts, to see how long we could sniff dog bins for. So we would literally
such a boy thing to
literally
do,
have competitions.
Very much a boy thing to do.
As to how long you
mean
can
you didn't do that, Kat?
smell dog
You've
crap.
never done that. Should we do it afterwards?
No, thank you.
I mean, I never ate it or anything like that, but do you know what I mean? That's not embarrassing. That's just
but
it is that kind of
Yeah. How old are you, Ben? How old are you when you're in Scouts?
Like, not secondary school, right?
Yeah, because you got Cubs first, haven't you?
Maybe I was in Cubs then.
Yeah. You were in Scouts, weren't you?
16.
The other thing that I did was, do you remember Davina McCall in her day, right?
Yeah.
Back in the I'm talking just after it was kind of I know she wasn't part of Gladiators, but it was that kind of gonna sit down, watch Gladiators, and then watch Don't Try This at Home.
Okay, yeah.
You ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Davina McCall. Anyway, I've got the taste for this show. And I decided to put my John Thomas on a radiator to see how long it could go on there.
What?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Your willy.
Oh, Ben.
On a radiator to see how long it would go on there without burning.
What?
Has since scarred me for life.
Literally.
Was that the first thing you did? Was that your first thought? Oh, that's what I'm going to try. But don't try this at home.
Yes. Well, that was after I shaved. So I then tried to shave my teeth. So instead of brush my teeth, I used a razor. So yeah, instead of just being embarrassed, I think you're just gonna give me
they are weird more than embarrassing. They are
see
weird.
a psychiatrist.
What about when you've drunk too much?
Oh, man.
Are there times you've done things that you're embarrassed by, or you look back and you regret because you've just drunk too much?
Everything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's when you asked about embarrassing things, that's the time. But then it's hard. For me, it's a fine line between embarrassment and shame.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, shame.
Yeah.
That is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's where it moves from me.
Yeah.
Because there's embarrassment. It's oh, you've sent me a bit red, and actually, I can't talk about that.
Yeah. I hate thinking about that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
Same.
Yeah, because I'm quite. Maybe I've got an obsessive personality. So I'll have 2 beers, or a lot of beers.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have those merry drunk
Yeah.
No.
No.
Well, I will tell you one from my stag do, which doesn't involve me. A man who will remain anonymous. But he looks like that guy from House of Cards.
Yes.
Who's the character in House
Tom?
of Cards?
Is that his name, Tom?
So if you know House of Cards, imagine Tom in your head.
Like the writer guy.
Yeah. So I had a couple of stag do's, one marriage, a couple of stag do's, and one of them we went down to Bournemouth, which is quite a good night out, and it was relatively tame for a stag do, and it was just my really close friends. And at the end of the night, stag do's finished by getting some food, going on Bournemouth Beach, having a cigar and a swim. Unfortunately, I didn't have my swimming trunks with me. Which
you're
is
unlikely
fine.
to take them on your stag do, so yeah.
So it was fine. Lads stripped down. And, so we're stripping down, having cigars. And then all of a sudden, you know what lads are like? Last one in the pool last one in the sea gets the next round. So then we're all kind of running, stripping off as fast as we could. But it was quite early by this point. We must have been out really late because there was an elderly couple walking their dog. And my friend, the guy from House of Cards, just ran straight. I remember him looking back at me going, "Ha, you loser." Kind of, it was like a Chariots of Fire moment. And then just going, "Sorry." And running with his little, he's got such a nice little bottom. And then obviously they all took my clothes and put them in front of this nightclub that was still had loads of people in it. So I don't know why these people walk it. The chronologically of it all is a bit weird because I don't know why those people were walking, because there was still this. I remember this kind of like nightclub with a glass thing out to the seafront, and they put all my clothes there, so I had to walk up to it. But that wasn't as embarrassing as my friend. And also, he ran in, and your hope when you're skinny dipping, and you'll know this, Matt. It's like, let it get.
What makes you think I'd know this?
Let it get.
Yeah, you do know.
Please let it get deep quickly.
Right, yeah.
And it wasn't one of those. It's like you just keep running. It's like keep going. Oh, it's up to my knees. Keep going. So that was hilarious. But that's nothing to do with me. But you know who you are.
No, it is. But kind of Kat was saying that we've all been sharing embarrassing stories, and we don't mind sharing them. And actually, there's a little bit of bravado in us even now as we're sharing them. Yeah. And but it's that shame one where you just think, if I could turn the clock back.
Yeah.
Because if we could turn the clock back in those embarrassing moments, we probably wouldn't. But turning the clock back for those shameful moments, I'd do anything.
And what takes? Yeah. Where does that shame come from? From the world, or like Kat, you're your own worst critic. I bet the thing that you feel shame about, I'd be like,
no.
But do you not think, like for me, like if I shared something that I'm shameful about, I doubt you'd be. I don't know. It would probably be nothing to like. So where does the shame? It must come from within us.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And so I think there's value in. I think there is value in sharing those things with people that you're close to. Like, I don't think there's necessarily value in sharing those things with everyone. I think that does help, but I think for me it's totally a perfectionist thing. Like I like everything to be perfect. I like things to seem really together. And so that's why I embarrass easily. And that's why, like, I look back on those moments where, so sixth form for me, when I was at school, is a time I look back on and I'm like, I just want to forget those 2 years of my life. When I went out partying all the time, and drinking all the time, and just acting like an absolute idiot.
So true.
Yeah.
But I do think there's so much to be learned from those moments. So, of course, if I could change it, there's an element of me that's like, if I could change those times, I would. But actually, they've shaped me to be who I am.
Yeah, but that's quite key. I think you're dead right.
Yeah.
There's so much that can be learnt from those moments.
Yes.
It's whether we do or not.
Yeah.
Because you said, actually, it shaped me and it's changed me.
Yeah.
And presumably you mean it shaped you and changed you for the better.
Yeah.
And we would agree it has.
Yeah.
But that's not automatic.
No.
And obviously I spend a lot of time working with young people, and it's not automatic that they're always going to be shaped in a good way.
Yeah.
And I look back in my life and I'm thankful that I think most of them have shaped me in a good way.
Yeah.
But that's not automatic.
No.
There's something in us we have to use it positively.
Yeah.
That it's going to shape us for the best. You know, classic. You know, I'm quite a big guy and life and soul of the party sort of guy. So everyone assumes that I can drink loads of alcohol.
Yeah.
And, it'll just make Matt even more Matt, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. I can't, literally a pint of cider and I'm beginning to, I feel it.
Wow, yeah.
So I know I couldn't drink more than 2 pints without somebody having to carry me home, literally. But I also know the worst side of me begins to come out. So I begin to be rude to people instead of funny.
Right. Okay.
You know, we think it's funny. No, actually, I'm just being rude. My laughing and joking, roughhousing, rumble, tumble turns into fights.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, she's my mate. I love her. Put my arm around her, give her a quick peck on the cheek. As a mate, that's cool when I've been drinking and suddenly it turns into something else.
Yeah.
And so for me, now I know how alcohol affects me. That's why I don't drink much.
Right.
Yeah.
Now. But kind of 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Don't forget, that's all coupled with an immature kid. Because I didn't mature. You imagine what a mess that turns out into.
Yeah.
You know, immature Matt, drinking too much, loud, fighting, messing around with girls, you know.
So is there a general period in your life then that you wish you could scrub away? Or would you say no, because actually I've learnt so much from it? And if there is a period like that, what were your toughest years?
So I would say for me, like 17, 18, 19, maybe even 16. But I think it was an immaturity thing.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so my birthday's 28th of August, so I'm like the youngest in my year group. And when I look back on it, I do think that made a massive difference because I just desperately wanted to fit in. And I think that I wasn't myself. You know, you're talking about at the beginning how you want to impress people and you want to make yourself look good. And all I wanted to do was fit in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I would say, definitely that time where I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the self-confidence to say no.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the confidence in who you wanted to be to say no. For me, I don't think it would be a time, but there are specific things I did that I would want to change. So when I was about 16, there were lots of reasons for this, way too many to go into, but I stole a lot of money. And now that's bad enough, but actually I stole it from my mum. And my mum was a single mum at this point. My dad had left. Money was tight. And I stole it. And the pain that caused my mum and in the family was massive. Wow. Now, obviously, there's an embarrassment, but it's much more of the shame that Kat was talking about earlier. And so I'd want to go back and take that away.
Yeah.
Looking back at how I treated some of my ex-girlfriends, particularly before I became a Christian, you know, I look back and go, actually, I don't want to be that sort of person. And I don't want to be remembered as that sort of person.
Yeah.
You know, now, obviously, my friends now that I've kept right the way through, they've seen the change in me. They know I'm a different person.
Yeah.
But some of those friends who haven't seen the change in me, because I don't know them anymore, they probably still remember me as a complete and utter. Do you know what I mean? And so those are the things that I'd want to go back and change if I could.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And how do you work through that? Do you carry that?
No, I don't carry it. And maybe that's my character.
Not?
No, I don't carry it. It's interesting. So Kat was saying something about her self-image sort of stuff. And I did this really embarrassing thing, right? When I was about 16, 15, we were going on a rugby tour, right?
Yeah.
And I used to play a lot of rugby. And I knew that like rugby showers, all the lads were in the showers together. I didn't have any hair under my arms, right? And I was really embarrassed. So I was like, I've got to sort this out.
Yeah.
So I actually did this. I had my hair cut before I went on the tour, my hair on my head, right? Yeah. And then I took some of that and I stuck it under my arms.
Oh my goodness, really?
With carpet adhesive. Well, you say that now. I didn't know that this was going to be... Well, it looked great for about 4 seconds and then it started to burn. and it burnt really badly. And so I had to start ripping this off.
Oh, no.
So, of course, it ripped off any hair I did have under there and just left a big red square patch of burn under my arm, right?
Yeah.
Now, I must have done that for self-image. There's no other reason.
You wouldn't strike me as that.
No, I wouldn't have.
Obviously, it's a long
That's
time
it.
ago,
I wouldn't have done it for any other reason. But now I'm like, that just wouldn't even enter my head. I'm like, I'm not the greatest looking guy in the world, but self-image doesn't affect me in the way that you were kind of saying it.
Yeah.
It did for you, certainly.
Yeah.
I'd say like your top 3 good looking in the room.
Oh, cheers, buddy. Obviously, Kat.
No, I meant men.
Yeah, right. Between you, me, and Alex.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Your top 3.
Cheers. Yeah. But yeah, so self-image isn't a thing I struggle with now. But I obviously
There's a massive amount of maturity like attached to the shame stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But also, I think maturity. So for me, the more mature I get, or I hope to get, the more I feel actually a lot of shame about my past.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
really? Wow.
And does it still sit with you, that shame?
I definitely have. I mean, so because it's not big stuff. So basically, like when I was at sixth form, I just hate who I was.
Right. Okay.
I was a total bum. And there's loads of reasons for that. There's so many reasons, but I don't like how I treated people. I don't like the friends that I made. But it was never like, I don't like the way that I was around women. Nothing happened, but not through lack of trying.
As every teenage boy. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have that big issue to resolve, but I just try and forget about.
Yeah.
And it was only a year for me. It's just like I try and I don't talk to anyone from that time in my life.
Okay.
And the people that are still in my life, Kat, that was the only time me and Kat haven't been close. My wife, Kat, me and Kat have been close since I was 10 years old. We've rung each other every single day. But during that year, she was like, "You're being a John Thomas."
Yeah.
Because it's the people that love you that call it out. And we grew more distant. We weren't distant, but more distant than we've ever been. And she helped me so much through that. Tried to help me stick out college. I got kicked out of college.
Right.
Because I didn't go. That's not me. There's more reasons for that than I was just being a John Thomas.
Yeah.
I really struggled educationally. Loads of reasons, but I still haven't resolved a lot of that stuff because there's no big thing.
Yeah,
it's just I wish people that I met and the people that that's a new time. Like I went away to sixth form. I didn't stay in my school and college. I don't know how it works in Suffolk, but I just hate that person. And I would like to think that if someone did get in touch with me from sixth form, they'd be totally shocked.
Right.
At who I am.
Yeah.
And those school years are tough years.
Yeah, they are.
They are
aren't
tough years.
And the thing is, I did really well at school.
Right. Okay.
I was liked.
Okay.
I was in sports teams. I was in the musical. And I got all right GCSEs, and then I got to college, and I was no one. But anyway, that's my story for another time. Guys, thanks so much for being a part of this.
Hey, no, it's been great.
How fun was that?
It's been great. Yeah.
And we really didn't know how this was going to turn out because we kind of producer Alex kind of gave us a topic, and even like as we were setting up, we were like not really sure on the vibe because we're quite. Well, I would like to think that we're quite vulnerable people, so we tried to keep it lighthearted. But maybe we'll do a really serious nitty gritty.
Who knows?
One that will definitely cry at some point. So thanks so much for listening. Don't forget the next Eden Gathering is on the 6th of September at the Mix in Stowmarket. You can sign up for food nights and social action on the website, which is edengathering.co.uk. And whilst you're on there, just click on those little buttons that have our Instagram and Twitter. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast. Let us know what you think. Leave a review and a like rating because we want to hear from you. And if anything that you've heard today resonates with you, reach out to us and we can put you in touch with Matt or Kat or even producer Alex. Although he
can even suggest some topics you want us to talk about.
Yeah, you could suggest some topics.
Topics. Yeah.
That's a bit of a tongue twister. So yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to producer Alex for producing once again this podcast. And if I don't see you on the 6th, I'll see you another time. Play the music.